Alright, so today we're going to take a look at most of the good cards from the upcoming Mega Evolution set. This set is set to come out, I think, in November or September or something like that. But yeah, so I'm not going to like overreact or anything, but I genuinely think this is probably the best set we have had in ages. Like, there's some insane cards in this set. And obviously Megas are back. However, they are 3 prize cards now, so they're kind of like the mix of tag teams and VMAXs and stuff, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. I feel like it's a good thing that they were 3 prize cards, but I don't like the massive health buff. Like, I mean, we've already seen how annoying it can be to deal with like higher HP Pokemon, and now take a look at Mega Venusaur. He's chilling at 380 HP, which is just crazy. All I'm saying is get your Raging Bolts ready. So yeah, we're just gonna go through this list, and I'm gonna talk about Megaaro a little bit because I feel like she might be back. Anyway, so starting it off, we're gonna actually speak about the Mega Venusaur. So solo transfer once during your turn, or as many times as during your turn, you can move your energy. So it's pretty cool because you get to move your energy around, and utilizing cards like let me try and find it. Wally's. Where is he? Yeah, Wally's Compassion. Heal all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokemon EX. If you healed any damage in this way, put all energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand. So obviously it can be really strong, mainly to the fact that we can essentially have 4 energy attached to this guy, 2, 3, 4, move all of this energy onto like some other Pokemon, and then use Wally, heal everything, and then move that energy back onto him and just keep swinging, right? So that's pretty cool. Also, like with Hero's Cave, bro's gonna have 480 health. What deck can do 480 damage? Like, Raging Bolt can, but they need to discard, what, 7 energy? 7 energy and they're hitting 490? Like, dude, 7 energy for Raging Bolt. That's a lot of energy, even for Raging Bolt. Goldengo can hit it, but they need to discard 10 energy to do that. And that they play like 11 energy in the deck. So they need to have literally every single energy in their hand and attach to the Goldengo to deal with this guy. So yeah, nah. Big guy over here. Definitely going to see some play. I feel like it's going to be quite cool, especially when we pair it with the upcoming Meganium, which Meganium says each basic grass energy attached to your Pokemon provides 2 grass at a time, which is quite nice because now we don't have to power up, manual attach 4 times to the Venusaur, and because of that, like, that could have been an issue, obviously, but now we only have to manual attach twice, and that's not that big of a deal. Like, we're going to be able to attach multiple times, and pairing these guys with the upcoming Stadium, Lush Forest, if you guys remember Forest of Giant Plants, or Giant Leaves, whatever it was called. English is easy. This is like that, but a little bit nerfed, mainly because you just can't, you can't do it, players can't evolve a Pokemon during their first turn. So you like can't slap this down and have turn 1 Mega Venusaur. That would kind of be crazy. And also they're just future-proofing, kind of to make sure, like, if they print any like item lock grass Pokemon, you can't just slap that shit down turn 1 and just prevent your opponent from playing the game, because that was the problem last time, right? Vileplume, yeah, not fun. Anyway, so it's pretty cool because essentially now you can get multiple stage 2 set up quite quickly, which is very nice. Also, Torterra EX might like this because that was like 30 damage for each of your grass evolution Pokemon in play or something like that, and now this guy's gonna do bits for that deck. So grass people eating good. Shout out all my grass lovers. Anyway, we got Shuckle, which is supposed to be a counter for Munkidori, I guess, but also it is supposed to, like, tie in with the whole Mega Venusaur thing, so you can have like 4 of these on the bench, and then you can just move like 1 energy to this one, and then you use the ability, and then using Venusaur you just move it to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next. You guys get the idea. So it's like that kind of thing, which is pretty cool. Hold up, does this only move grass energy? Damn, dude, imagine that with dark energy. You could just use quad Munkidori as much as you like. Anyway, that would be kind of funny and kind of broken, to be honest. Next card we can take a look at would be the Mega Camerupt. Some of these guys are just gonna be fodder, right? And this is one of them. So it's 80 plus. That's not 80. 80 plus 160 if your opponent's active Pokemon is burned, and then it does, 240. So 240 for 1 is quite cool. You're essentially doing 260 because of the burn. Thing is, 260 isn't like an insane number to hit. Like even plus Grav Mountain, that's only 290. Sorry, that is just not how math works. That's 280, which is like a little bit of a better number to hit. But the thing is, like, realistically, it's no stage 2 is really, living like that. Wait, what was I saying? Anyway, I don't remember. But like 260 just isn't a great number to swing, because one, like, that's whiffing on all of the EVs, that's whiffing on like the 280 HP Mewtwo and stuff, I guess, if you want to count that. It's not doing lots of damage to the EXs, to the stage 2, sorry. You're already one-shotting Goldengo, so like you don't really need that, like, the thing there. And the thing is, you also have to burn them, right? Like, that's a problem. Like, you have to play like stuff like Volcanion and switches to actually get the burn down. So unless I'm missing something, like, yeah, it's not great. Cinderace, however, is pretty cool. I definitely can see this Pokemon being an engine for a lot of decks in the future, or not, maybe not a lot of decks, but some decks in the future. If you guys remember Greninja Break, it had a similar engine with Talonflame, which was 40 damage, and then search your deck for 2 cards, or two trainer cards or something like that, and put them into your hand, which was really good, because you could put that as your face-down Pokemon, which is great, and it also had free retreat, and decent damage, good poke. This guy is very similar, except for the fact that it is a 1 energy attack, free retreat cost, and 3 basic energy instead of 2 trainer cards, right? Which is pretty cool, because now you can like set up Triple Monkey on your first turn if you start this guy, which, yeah, interesting. I can see cards like maybe Mega Gardevoir using this or something like that, but yeah, it might steep play, might not. It's niche, it's cool, it's not bad. That's what I'm saying, it's not bad. As for other cards, Chew's pretty cool. I like this kind of 40 damage, and then discard a stadium, and then they can't play stadiums next turn, right? Pretty cool. I like that. I honestly do like that, especially with a lot of these new really good stadiums coming into the game, and also like some of the old really good ones as well, like Jamming Tower might be cool to like prevent your opponent from playing, or yeah, which is nice. I like that. Kyogre unfortunately sucks. It's not like horrible, but it's just not great. And then Mega Bomberstone, it seems pretty like shit, to be honest. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck, and then it's 100 damage for each water energy you discard. So you could be swinging up to 600 damage, but the thing is, you actually have to get that energy onto the top of your deck, and realistically, how are you doing that, right? Like, I mean, sure, we have cards like Cypher Maniac, which can put 2 there, and then we have cards like the new Gumshoos, which is the but no, that swaps out a card. I guess you have that stadium, that Levincia at night or something, that can put a card on top of your deck, which is now 3, so you're doing 300, but that's committing your support of a turn, and a stadium, and you need 2 water energy attached to this guy already, and you're also discarding 3 more cards. So yeah, it's probably just gonna be slap a bunch of water energy in a deck and then hope and pray, like just 350 HP prayer cycle, to be honest. I feel like it could be good towards the later stages of the game, like once you are just genuinely swinging for 10,000 damage. But yeah, other than that, not too sure. Once during a turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may use this ability, attach your 2 basic energy from your hand to this Pokemon. So I guess now we can power up this guy with like E-switches and stuff, and Kloitzer. Raikou pretty cool for the nice little 1 prize attacker for the Lightning Box decks that we have going around right now. I feel like, honestly, Lightning might get a bit stronger. Like, the Reshiram is pretty cool, Raikou's pretty cool. There's also a nice little a cool Mega coming out for this deck. We'll get to that shortly. So if you have at least 4 Lightning in play, it does 120, which isn't crazy amounts of damage, but for a 1 prize, it's not a terrible number to hit. Just poke, close something out, or kill a Monkey Dory or whatever. Not bad. But here's the Mega I was talking about. Free Retreat, first of all, very cool. 330 HP, not a great number, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But Flash Ray, 120 damage, and then prevent all damage from basic Pokemon. Very nice, right? Riot Blaster, you may discard all energy attached to Pokemon. If you do, it does 330 damage. That is pretty cool, right? So you can be, one-shotting other people's main tricks. You can, like, with some damage buffs, like, let's say, Karate Belt, I can never remember his name, Karate Belt Fighting Fury, Black Belt Training. I'm sure if you, like, put some of those words together, it's the actual card. I just don't know which of those words you have to cherry pick to create the card's name. Then you're swinging for 370 damage, and that's pretty cool. Now you're one-shotting most of the, like, big guys, Mega Pokemon, big dog. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that, right? Also with Kieran, you're hitting 360, which is killing like the Megaaro and stuff. So this is pretty cool. And then you're like, oh my goodness, but how do we get the energy back attached? The eels that just came out in the last set. Yeah, I was kind of looking at this card and then being like, how do you get the energy back? And yeah, that's why I'm reacting like that. Anyway, for a bit, we're going to have the electric generator as well. So yeah, but the thing is, remember, it is discard all energy. It doesn't matter if you have like 4,000 energy attached to it, you have to discard all of them. So yeah, you don't want to flood too many energy onto the board here. But the first attack is pretty cool. Has a nice little out against Raging Bolt. And then also the, Right Blaster is pretty decent. Okay, this is a really cool evolution line. So we've got ourselves, that's not what I wanted to click, try for 3, no, I'm good, oh, and we've clicked off of it. So, what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted, was Kadabra is pretty cool. Not only is he in, what is that place called, the Trick Room area, block place, Wolfie VGC, I guess. When you play this card from your hand, you may draw 2 cards, keep that in mind. You can draw 2 cards with Kadabra, right? But then, when you evolve Alakazam, you get to draw 3 cards with Alakazam, which is pretty cool. But you're thinking, alright, cool, but then once you evolve it, like, that's that. Now it's just sitting there on your bench. First of all, not a bad attack. Put 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each card in your hand, right? That's pretty damn good, right? That's pretty damn good. Like, I mean, you're already drawing, like, a bunch of cards. So if you have, let's say, 10 cards in hand, that's a young 200 damage, which is not bad. And you'll be thinking, but how do we get 10 cards in our hand? Well, my friends, that is where this little goofball comes in. Where's that dang? Suspicious Clock. Sus. Devolve one of your Psychic Pokemon by returning any number of evolution cards on it into your hand. So that is not bad if we think about it, right? We have Alakazam in play. Let's say we have a Abra, a Kadabra, and a Alakazam. So now, let's say that turn we evolve into the Alakazam. So we're drawing 3... Oh, wait, sorry. I have... in the top left corner right now, it does say 2 and 3. I forgot my webcam is blocking it. So this is what this is what's on that side. K and Ala. That's how many cards they draw. That just looks like a cock. Anyway, so let's say you evolve the Abra, or you evolve the Kadabra into the Alakazam that turn. Then that means you're drawing 3 cards. And then if you devolve the Alakazam that turn as well, you put all those cards back into your hand. You just keep the Abra in play. Then you can go ahead and evolve the Abra that's on your bench for 2 more cards. And then evolve the Kadabra that was on your bench from last turn for 3 more cards. Dude, you're just drawing 8 cards from essentially 2 cards because you just de-evolved the other one. That is crazy. That's a lot of draw power. So a lot of decks are going to be using this, not only Psychic decks, because it's just insane draw, right? It's crazy good draw. The card is really good, and it has a pretty damn good attack as well, right? So yeah, like, I can definitely imagine Goldengo with this, right? Goldengo right now, the main struggle is how do we deal with fighting Ogerpon, and how do we deal with all of these other cards that, like, prevent our EX from attacking? Well, Alakazam, not only does it go through fighting Ogerpon because of damage counters, it also, is a good 1-prize attacker. Also, bro is chunky, by the way. 48 kg for a Pokemon. That's pretty fat, bro. Anyway, we're not here to fat shame him. We're here to look at our queen, Megaaro EX. So, I might be overreacting over here, but this card seems pretty gas. 360 HP. Decent number, but I would wish it had 1 extra HP, just so it can tank a Grimmsnarl hit. But it is what it is. So Overflowing Wishes, for each of your bench Pokemon, search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy card and attach to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So I'm probably going to make a video on this card on its own, just because of the amount of things I can think of with this deck. Like, I mean, you can pair it with N Zoroark because of N's PP up. You can pair it with Terra cards because of the Trumpet. You can pair it with Alakazam because you're just drawing cards. So, dude, this card is kind of nuts. 50 damage per energy card, right? Per 1 energy card. Each energy you attach is essentially a max build. Just think of it like that, right? And the first attack is pretty cool, right? So let's say you have just 5 Pokemon on your bench. Yeah, you guys can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we just rip Overflowing Wishes. We attach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 energy. Right now, that's 250 damage. With the energy on the active, that's 300 damage. And then we use Wallies, remember, to heal off all our damage from Megaaro, which is pretty good. And then we're attacking for 300 damage with a fully HP powered up Mega Gardevoir. And let's say we rip that twice, right? Let's say we rip another Overflowing Wishes. Now we have 10 energy on board, which is doing, 600 damage. Okay, that's a lot of damage. So, yeah. I'm gonna be real. Sorry, no, that's we have 10 energy on board. That's 500 damage. Yeah, sorry, we're doing 500 damage, and with the attachment on active, that's 550 damage. Nothing is surviving. Nothing is surviving. So, yeah, this card is going to be pretty good. Obviously, it is lacking the kind of toolbox that current Gardevoir has. But the thing is, like, remember, it just says each psychic energy card attached to a Pokemon, not each basic psychic energy card. So now we can also continuously play Munkidori, because essentially what we can do now is we can attach luminous energy or that other energy and attach that there, and now it counts as a dark energy and a psychic energy. So we can now heal off of our Gardevoir, do extra damage, because sometimes that interval of 5 can be quite awkward. If you look at Goldengo, sometimes when you're trying to swing for 310 damage or 320 damage into Dragapult or Gardevoir or Grimmsnarl as well, all these cards have 320 HP or 310 HP, and it can be quite awkward to hit that number. So instead of getting that one extra energy, you can use Munkidori, move 30 damage from this guy onto that guy, and bam, there you go, right? So not only is this deck already a great attacker, it has access to so much stuff. We have seen this kind of attack win worlds, right? Gardevoir GX won worlds with a very similar attack, just not nearly as good as this one, because that one was only attached to both active Pokemon, right? Whereas this is all of your Pokemon in play, which is nuts, right? It is nuts. So on top of that, if you thought that support that I said wasn't good enough, well, now you have a 100 HP Curlier, so if your opponent has triple Munkidori, too bad, they still can't kill Curlier. It also has a good attack, Call Sign, search your deck for the 3 Pokemon, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. That's pretty good. That's the better call, for, like, a much better call for family, right? Not as good as Mirage Step, but it is what it is. As for the other psychic cards, you guys have probably seen this Mysterious Garden. Once during each player's turn, that player may discard a energy card from their hand in order to draw cards until they have as many cards in their hand as they have psychic Pokemon in play. Munkidori is a psychic Pokemon. Alakazam is a psychic Pokemon. Gardevoir is a psychic Pokemon, right? We were one letter away from supporting a president. So that's the thing, like, all of these guys are psychic Pokemon, so you can be drawing insane amounts of card in the beginning of the game while you try and, like, build up into your Gardevoirs and build up into your Alakazams, Abras, and Kadabras, whatever the hell that's called. So all of these guys can be built up upon. And then on top of that, we have Wally's Compassion, right? Which is really cool. And then Mega Signal is also pretty cool. Like, if we decide to go for the Terra version, we can go Rare Candy, Mega Signal, bam. Turn 2, Mega Gardevoir, there you go. Lily's Determination, another insanely strong card, which will be good for all evolution decks. Think Dragapult or Gardevoir currently with this. You know those decks that don't really want to get aggressive in the beginning of the game? They just want to kind of set up their board state. Bro is speaking in 2x speed there. Dude, Eminem, where you at? So basically, what you can do is you draw 8 cards if you still have 6 prize cards. Well, you don't draw 8 cards. You shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 8 cards. And that's pretty good, right? So you know those awkward starts sometimes, like with Dragapult, where you don't really want to research away, 3 Night Stretchers, 2 Dracloaks, and stuff like that? Well, now you don't have to. Now you can just shuffle them into your deck and draw 8 cards. Like, obviously, it's lowering the odds of you hitting stuff that you actually want. But the thing is, it now lets you play the game instead of discarding everything, which is pretty cool. I definitely don't think it's going to replace research in decks like these, but I definitely think it's going to have a place in these decks regardless. Like, drawing 6 cards at any point of the game is pretty cool, but then in the beginning of the game, until you initiate the prize trade, until, like, whenever you enter the prize race, is 8 cards, right? So which is, like, now it's going to be an extra level of skill expression, mainly because now you have to kind of be more aware of when you want to start taking prize cards if you're ready to set up, right? If you are ready if you are ready and set up, then you can start taking prize cards, and then Lily's Determination is not going to be as strong as it was before, but it's by no means a bad card afterwards, right? Like, if it was like maybe 5 cards or 4 cards, then I can see, like, maybe it's not that good. Okay, anyway, we are going off track here. So, Megaaro EX, Aura Jab, bro is just aura farming to be there in his alt art as well. Attach up to 3 fighting energy from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon anywhere you like for 1 energy for 130 damage, right? Not bad. Like, a pretty good stage 1 as well, 340 HP, it's kind of tanky. Also remember, Wally can heal us as well. And then Mega Brave. I don't know if I like that attack name. Mega Brave. For 2 fighting and then 270. Not a great number. But we do have something that can make that a little bit better. Premium Power Pro. Think Mew VMAX Power Tablet, but for fighting Pokemon. All I'm saying is I hope they print a good Primal Groudon. I am waiting on Groudon because we have some really good fighting support in this set. We have Premium Power Pro, PPP. If you thought Ents PP Up was bad, well, get ready for PPP Up. Now you got Fighting Gong. Get ready for people to call it Fighting Dong. Which is basically just Orb Crystal, Crystal Orb, whatever it's called for the Psychic, but fighting, which is awesome. Such a deck for fighting energy, and then also for fighting Pokemon, right? Which is, not and, it's or, right? Which is pretty cool, which gives you a lot more options. Like now, instead of playing like Nest Ball and Ultra Ball, you probably will play those, but if you're playing only fighting Pokemon, you're going to have quad of these regardless, because it's a energy search or a Pokemon search, like a Pokeball, flip a coin, except without the coin flip for fighting Pokemon, which is busted. Like, these cards have always seen play. Crystal Orb saw play while I was in the format, very good. And then, going back up to the fighting draw support, we have Lunatone. It's like, it's okay, I think. So once you're turn, if you have Solrock in play, Solrock sucks. I'm not even going to bother looking at that guy. It's like 70 damage for 1 energy if you have this guy in play or something like that. If you may discard an energy, a fighting energy, and then draw 3 cards. Pretty cool, but you can't use more than 1 Lunar Cycle ability each turn. So very limited. So now you have to commit 2 cards, or essentially 3 cards. You're committing 3 cards for 3 cards, because you have to commit the Lunatone, the Solrock, and the energy, and then you're getting 3 cards out of that. So it's like kind of costly. And the thing is, now you also have 2 useless kind of Pokemon sitting on your bench. Like, the problem is that one guy draws 3 cards whenever you have an energy, and the other guy is just bad. It's like doing 70 damage, which is it, right? So it's not great, unfortunately. It can see play, but it's probably not going to see play. Hariyama is just a Lycanroc clone. When you evolve it, you can Gust, which is pretty cool. And then 210 damage, does 70 damage to itself. Can definitely see this thing seeing some play with the Mega Lucario. You can evolve the Hariyama and then Gust up something, and then use Aura Jab for 130, attach 3 energy onto your Hariyama, and then next turn you're swinging 210, which is now 340. Obviously, if you play the Power Tablet, you're doing higher amounts of damage, so you can be 2-shotting Megas as well. You can maybe like take out a baby Pokemon like a Hoothoot or a Noctowl or whatever in like Raging Bolt, and then next turn you can be just KOing either a Raging Bolt or like a Ogerpon or a Fez or something. So yeah, pretty cool there. I kind of like that. Mega Absol definitely can see some play. First of all, basic Pokemon, big dub, 280 HP, that's okay. Lots of things are one-shotting that, unfortunately, and you are giving up 3 prize cards in your turn, but if your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, they die. No strings attached, they die. So, essentially what you can do is you have Double Monkey, something swings into Mega Absol and it survives. Use your Monkey, move the damage off of your Absol, put 6 damage on the active, and then Doom Period, and then just perish, right? Second attack isn't horrible either. Double Dark Psychic, your opponent reveals their hand and discard a card you find there. I feel like this card might see some play. It's not going to be great. A little bit gimmicky. I feel like we might see it like in play as a tech for some decks, maybe like a Grimmsnarl deck, because you have so much damage manipulation in that deck, and also you can play E-Switch now because you're flooding the board with so many energies thanks to the Grimmsnarl and stuff. So, pretty cool card. As for other splashable cards, shout out your Veltal. Probably the best retreat locker we have in format right now. It does require a dark energy, but it has free retreat, free pivot. That is something that's really cool, right? The problem with the Maractus is that it has 2 retreat costs, right? And that thing kind of stinks when you want to get it out of active. We do have Air Balloon, but the thing is, cards like Jamming Tower, cards like Klefki Joust, cards like Tool Scrapper, all those exist. Cards like Jellicent, all those exist. This guy just has free retreat, right? He don't care. He just moving about. So he doing his thing. He's 3D flying about. And also he does have like an okay attack, 110 for 3 energy. Like, I'm sure if you're playing this in some deck, like, you can probably attack with it. It's like not horrible, kind of kind of bad. But yeah, anyway, cool little, like, retreat lock there. Mega Mawile, Greedily Devour, that is just me on a Friday night. Does 80 damage for each prize card you have taken, right? So usually it's however many prize cards your opponent has taken. This one is however many you have taken, which is pretty cool due to the fact that a lot of decks right now are struggling with that little bit of a late game, like, closer. If you think about it, like Arcaladon, right? It struggles with that late game closer and doesn't really have that high damage output. So now this guy, you take 4 prize cards, bam, you're doing 320 damage. Goodbye Dragapult, goodbye Gardevoir, goodbye Grimmsnarl. That's pretty cool, right? And then Big Bite, 260, but if your opponent's Pokemon already has damage, it does 30 instead. So you're literally just doing like a slap. So yeah, I feel like this will only see play for that first attack, and it'll be a very specific text in decks like Goldango to get through the Fighting Pond if you want that, and also the other one that I was talking about, Arcaladon. Bridge guy. Alright, next we got Mega Latinas. I'm so upset that this card is shit. Because, yeah, you guys know I like Mega Latinas. I like Latinas. 280 HP is just not great. And then 300 damage. Discard all energy from this Pokemon. Fire Psychic Colorless. This is a Pikachu clone. A Pikachu clone that's worth 3 prize cards and doesn't have an actually useful ability. There's no reason to play this card. This card is bad. Don't play this card. Anyway, insert clip when this card wins World next year. But yeah, unfortunately, not a great card. It does have like a Latios to pair with it. Once you're going to turn on your Mega Latinas EX moves from your bench to active spot, you may move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. It's like a extra step, what's that grass guy? Extra step, Rapid Vernia. I know the ability, but I don't know the Pokemon. Iron Leaves, yeah. It's like an extra step Iron Leaves. Anyway, here's like the first really good splashable card, I think. This set has to offer. This card's nuts, bruh. So first of all, 300 HP colorless. You know what that means? Bouffalant, Terra, Mega Kangaskhan. But this is the closest thing I have to comfy. So essentially, once you can turn if the Pokemon is an active spot, you may use the ability draw 2 cards. 2 draw, yippee! Can't use more than 1 in the turn, but that's not bad, right? Let's say you're playing a deck that plays Latias, like Terrabox, like Dragapult right now, like most decks in general. Play Latias. Slap this. Your opponent takes a knockout. You put this into the active spot. You Fez for 3. You run Errand for 2. You've just drawn 5 cards before you play a supporter. That's pretty good. Also, 3 colorless energy. It can always be an attack in whatever deck you play. If like it's bad, if like life is not good right now, you are bricking. You can start spamming energy onto your Mega Kangaskhan. Like, you know, family. You can family card. Family Mart. Family Mart? Dude, I would kill for some Family Chicky right now. Smash like. Flip a coin until you get tails, 50 damage for each heads. Like, if you're a really good gambler, you can one-shot everything in the game. If you're a really bad gambler, then you can do 200 damage, right? Not bad. You're probably playing this in like Dragapult, so with Hawlucha ping 10 damage, like, it actually has a decent attack. If you're playing this in like Terra decks, which is pretty cool. I really think this is going to see play in Terra decks. Dude, Terra Box is so back, because this is just such a good ability. Drawing 2 cards every turn, like, that's just gas, right? And that's 300 HP, like, big chunky, right? Big chunky as a basic. Big. Dragapult, Terra Box lovers were so back with this set. Not really. Anyway, Delibird, if you go first, you can use this attack. Search your deck for a card, put it in your hand, and shuffle your deck. It's never going to see play. Gumshoes might see play in some very specific scenarios, like, you know, that local player that only plays very random decks, and maybe another local player that is infatuated by Donald Trump. You're going to be seeing them rep Gumshoes. Once during your turn, you may use this ability, switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. If you guys remember the Oranguru, it was basically this. Hold up, gather evidence, dude. This is a... I'm gonna let your mind do the thinking there. I'm gonna let your mind do the thinking there. Alright, anyway. So... It's like the Oranguru, but a little bit worse. Due to the fact that it is a stage 1. Like, if this card was a basic, dude, this thing would be good as well. It would see a lot of play, like the other Oranguru did. It would see a lot of play, but stage 1, not great. Attack, 2 energy, colorless, not great, right? It's not a great card. Mid at best. Acer's Mischief, this is a bitch-ass card, dude. So, you can only use this card if your opponent has 2 or fewer prize cards remaining. Choose one of your Pokemon in play. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage and effective attacks done to this Pokemon buy attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX. For example, let's say you bench Fezandipity, and your opponent needs to take 2 prize cards, and you have a 1 prize board state with only Fezandipity in play, like the 2 prizer. What you can do is you can use Acer's Mischief, point at Fezandipity, say, and the next turn, they can't do shit to that Fez. They can't do shit to that Fez. Legally, they can't do shit. If they do shit, call a judge, right? They can't do anything to that Fez, so they're going to have to go through the next turn of going through 1 prize, and maybe you can win next turn. Or let's say maybe you need to protect something, like a Dragapult has 1 HP left. You just bring that, or you don't even bring that to the bench, you just announce, I'm going to protect him now. It's like, you know, those like wolf games where like one person is like the guardian angel. This is the guardian angel. However, it does have a big drawback, meaning they have to have 2 or fewer prize cards remaining, so decent players can play around this as well. The same way like Briar is a thing right now. Like, it's going to be a little bit annoying in format. Like, you kind of have to like think when you're going to go into this like prize range. Maybe you keep them at 3 prize cards and then just take all 3 prize cards at the same time. Like Gardevoir, Dragapult can do that. Now with Megas in play, you can do that. So yeah, so you kind of do have to be a little bit more careful like with that. I can definitely see Sander Wojcik cooking up something stupid with this card, which I'm very excited for. Shout out Sander, he's the goat. Okay, now we get to like, yeah, all of the other cards. Dangerous Ruins, this is just Gapejaw Bog. Bapejaw Gog. I miss Gapejaw Bog, not because it was a good card, but just because that name was so cool. Anyway, whenever either player puts a non-basic dark Pokemon onto the bench, put 2 damage counters onto that Pokemon. It's cool for like Monkey Dory, I think. That's pretty cool, you know? But yeah, then we've gone through Fighting Gong. Iron Defender is just like, think Power Tablet, but like in reverse. During your opponent's next turn, all of your metal Pokemon take 30 less damage from your opponent's attacks. Now, Arcaludon can have 470,000 HP. Goldengo might also be a little bit tankier, but yeah, so it's gonna be cool, I think, seeing this in play with some big Pokemon. Laser Determination, we've gone over that. Lieutenant Surge's Bargain is just one of the funniest cards I've ever seen in my life. Ask your opponent if both players may draw a prize card. If yes, both players draw a prize card. If no, draw 4 cards. So this can see some play, I feel like, because think about it, right? If you, if this is like your support for turn, let's say, okay, this is your prize cards. That's okay. Cards are a little bit out of proportion. This is your opponent's prize cards. So let's say you initiate the prize trade by taking the first prize card, right? And then your opponent initiates the prize trade by taking 2 prize cards. You're like, well, this is not good. How do I get back into the prize trade? You can incoming trade offer. Also, if you guys don't say incoming trade offer whenever you play this card, unsubscribe from the channel. Then obviously, if they say yes, remember, if you're playing the locals, a lot of bad players will be like, oh my god, free prize card, yeah, baby. They're going to take that prize card, right? 100%. And then now they're on 3 prize cards, and you're on 4 prize cards, meaning in that turn, if you take 2 prize cards, bam, prize map fixed. They're going to realize, well, shit, I screwed up. Then announce Briar and win anyway, probably, but they'll take 2 beyond 1 prize card remaining, and then you'll just close out the game because you scammed them. And if they say no, you just get +4, which is like, you know, a cool trade offer, right? Like, it's a pretty cool card. Lush Forest we went over, Mega Single we went over, it's a 3 Terror Orb, but for Megas. Mysterious Garden we went over, Premium Power Pro, Premium Power Pro, Premium Power Pro, Premium Power Pro. Say that fast, dude. Say that 10 times fast. Switch your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. They just don't want to reprint Escape Rope, let's be real, right? This is just Iron Bundle, but worse because it's an item card, and the only reason Iron Bundle is good is because like it could be used under item lock, right? Surfing Beach, I actually haven't read this one before. Once during each play turn, the switch the active water Pokemon with an bench water Pokemon, so it's just a free switch for water Pokemon. Suspicious Clock, we went through that, and What is Compassion went through that. Alright, cool, I think I've done my due diligence as a YouTuber. I don't think we've left out anything crazy. If we have Womp Womp, too bad. But yeah. Smash like Autobots roll out.